Today on 5 Minute Shoe Review, we're going to go into the New Balance Fuel Cell Supercomp Elite V3, which is the trainer that I'm holding in my hand, which is the current elite shoe from New Balance, which is their shoe that they've sort of made for marathon and half marathon events. So yeah, let's get deep dive into this shoe and a 5 minute shoe review. So first of all, been running in this shoe now for around a month. It's obviously been out for a decent time, but I always like to make sure that I put some decent miles in across the board in these to make sure that I cover everything about them and sort of give you an honest 5 minute shoe review. That's what I'm all about. Like I normally say, I'm not sponsored or anything. Even though I'm wearing this, I'm not sponsored. I just want to sort of talk through the shoes so you get a good, honest review quickly and get to the sort of features of the shoe. So this has got Energy Arc technology, which they are basically calling what is their carbon plate. So the plate is hollow and arc shaped, which is obviously meant to be part of their optimize energy return with each step, which is their tagline. So this is what they're saying. You can see the shoe, pretty much like all their latest shoes, are a bit bow curved. So it's a bit like, and the idea of it meant to be curved is meant to return the energy back to your leg, which obviously is the idea with carbon plated shoes. This has New Balance's fuel cell foam, which is very similar to the foams that you find in the likes of the Nike Alpha Fly, but obviously just their own patented technology. And it's a nice lightweight shoe. So it's known as being a bit of a softer shoe compared to like the Adios Pro 3, which I've reviewed, and the Vaporfly. So it isn't as responsive as those, but I would say overall the foam itself is probably a bit comfier, quote unquote. So that's something to consider. Although some people like the sort of toughness and responsiveness of the faster shoes, but like I said, this does still get a good bit of energy return. On the sole itself, you can see it's got some like decent rubber on there, and it's a very grippy shoe. And one thing that I want to say is I have used this shoe for a different couple of high rock sessions. So on the sled mat, this is really, really good. And to be honest, probably the best shoe up there with the Puma Nitro Elite in terms of sled grippiness. So if that is something you're considering, it's pretty good. Although I will say for rower, this heel does not suit itself well for a rower, but that is not really what we're about. We're about performance on the road. So this shoe is 6.6 ounces, which I've sadly got the American up. So if you're American and you know how to transfer 6.6 ounces to grams, then that would be great. Let me know. So it's a 4mm drop only. So it is a 40mm heel, which 6mm drop, which means it's a 34 at the front. Now, we'll say for people who suffer from shin splints or high loading on their tibialis, this is probably not the shoe for you because 36 at the front. I would say that you're probably looking somewhere the ideal between 8 mil drop. So it is quite stable, very much like a midfoot shoe. So yeah, this is this is something to consider, So yeah, it's a bit of a different cover. It's something what they call their like SE Elite Knit, which is a sort of it's a bit of an upgrade from their last super shoe, which I think everybody knows ended up being a bit of a disaster as it was continually getting holes in them. But what I will say is this does need time to adjust. This has pretty much wrecked my feet on the uppers just because I'm not used to how stiff that is, especially compared to other shoes that have got softer bits on the front for the upper of the shoe. Not saying it's uncomfortable, but you need to have time to adjust it. So like most super shoes, price and durability, this is around $250, which is competitive, which is very sad to say because that's the price of most of the super shoes now. Although durability wise, this is definitely a lot better than its previous one, making it like pretty decent. And with the thickness of the rubber sole, obviously means that it will probably last a lot longer. So overall, it's a good balance between sort of comfort and speed. It's definitely a contender for a marathon shoe. Could potentially be a compete for a high rock shoe, but definitely one to consider if you're going to, go for your next race. So check it out. Let me know if you have a chance to try them out. They've got this way. I've also got them in the New York colorway, which is very nice. So check it out, and I'll see you on the next one.